Friends, welcome to Quiet Wednesday, our reflection time together. Lovely that you're continuing to join us, and I hope and pray that you're finding some strength and some encouragement from these times, and maybe even learning new ways of getting to be closer with God. I did think again today about another way of getting closer to God, and that's about praising God and rejoicing. And I'm going to think about that through the words of the Psalms, or particularly one psalm, and we'll come to that in a moment. But I don't know about you, but this year's been tough, hasn't it? It's been an alien landscape. It's been a wrestling match sometimes, wrestling with restrictions, wrestling with ourselves, wrestling with new ways of having to be, and so on. And I don't know about you, but it's been tough. I've found myself at times being very negative about things, and when you do that, I don't know whether you realise at the time, I certainly do afterwards, how just being so negative really zaps all the energy out of you. It can take everything that's positive and kind of wring it out and leave you feeling battered and bruised and with nothing left to offer or to celebrate. And I think we can choose to operate from that kind of place if we want to, from that place of being done to by circumstances and so on. And we can choose that place, but that place is a place that's always going to leave us wanting, and I think always going to leave us in need. Alternatively, we can choose to live from a place of gratitude and a place of plenty. So the first way is a way of scarcity, that the only thing that is in plentiful supply is doom and gloom, and that's just going to lead to a spiralling down and down. And yet, if we're able to focus, I think, on gratitude, on being grateful, then that leaves us with a different trajectory, a different outlook, and a different way of being and living. And I'm going to share with you the words of a psalm in a very short while, and we can spend some time sitting with those words. So it may well just be worth having a Bible at hand, if you've got one nearby, so that you could during our time of quiet just glance over those words. And so I'm looking at the end of the book of Psalms, and particularly at Psalm 146, and if you're familiar with the Psalms, you'll probably know that they're a mixture of song and prayer, and a mixture of emotions, a mixture of desolation and calling out to God in anguish. But they're also littered with songs of praise. And the last four in the book of Psalms, the one that we're going to use, 146, and also 147, 148, actually 149 and 150. So the last five Psalms all start with the words, certainly in this translation, which is the NIV, start and end with the words, praise the Lord. So they're very much ending that book of Psalms, not on desolation, but on words of hope and of praise. And we can choose this way of living for ourselves as well. But let's just find that quiet space again whilst I read this Psalm 146, and it says, "Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord, my soul. I will praise the Lord all my life. I will sing praise to my God as long as I live. Do not put your trust in princes, in human beings who cannot save. When their spirit departs, they return to the ground. On that very day, their plans come to nothing. Blessed are those whose help is the name of the God of Jacob, whose hope is in the Lord their God. He is the maker of heaven and earth, the sea and everything in them. He remains faithful forever. He upholds the cause of the oppressed and gives food to the hungry. The Lord sets the prisoner free. The Lord gives sight to the blind. The Lord lifts up those who are bowed down. The Lord loves the righteous. The Lord watches over the foreigner and sustains the fatherless and the widow. But he frustrates the ways of the wicked. The Lord reigns forever. Your God, O Zion, for all generations. Praise the Lord. Just a reminder that everything we need is in God, and that we may well be failed by the world and by those around us, perhaps not through any deliberate action, but through our own frailty and fragility. But God's there, always there. We can trust in him. He's there to lift us up, to set us free, to restore us, to pick us up when we bow down, to watch over us no matter what our makeup, our circumstances or our background, because there's a God who reigns forever. I think we can perhaps just spend some quiet time now with those words, and then I'll bring us back together in a few moments. So, friends, shall we bring ourselves back into this present time? And I'm reminded that at the very beginning of his ministry, Jesus said, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he's anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He sent me to proclaim release to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to let the oppressed go free, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favour." And those words very much echo those words in our psalm as well. And they're not an afterthought. They're very much a mandate for Jesus about the way he's going to live out his ministry. It comes at the very beginning of his ministry, and that's what he's all about. That's his whole purpose for being on this earth, for treading this ground that we also tread, to be there for us to bring us out and to recover our sight, to let us go free, and to proclaim the year of the Lord's favour. In other words, to remind us about how blessed we are by God. And so, friends, I hope and pray that we choose the way of gratitude as opposed to the way of desolation. And you may want to take this a little bit further, and perhaps to think as we come to the end of this day about what is it today that you've been grateful for, and perhaps to just again mark those by saying thank you to God. So, friends, until we meet again, bless you, and take very good care of yourselves. God bless.